Jessica, tu es en mute.
Welcome. Bienvenue. Willkommen.
Welcome. I am very glad to meet you on this event, the International HR event via Zoom. I will speak in German. Exceptionally, my colleague David will speak in French. Our slides will mainly be in German and in English. My name is Jessica Dumonor, and I'm the president of HR Swiss. That is the Swiss Association of HRs in Switzerland. On this day, which is devoted to HRs all over in Europe, we will speak about health. And I'm very happy to spend an hour with you, with our partner, David Grandjean, our partner from Health Promotion Switzerland. A word about the program. I can tell you, if I can see the program. We will speak about health today. And together with you, we want to start with a short survey to speak about your health, because after all, it is about us, HR, and this is why we'll start with a short survey and then start immediately speaking about corporate health management, CHM. And David will speak about Swiss statistics about corporate health management, which are the tools which exist for those who are responsible for employees, recommendations, how to launch and systemize CHM. At the end, we will have enough time for your questions and give answers. You can already note them in the chat or ask them spontaneously at the end. Now I give the floor to David so that he can introduce himself. Well, thank you, Jessica. It is a pleasure for me to be here. Before speaking in important information, I will speak French and you have interpretation in your Zoom. You can choose translation into German or in English this morning and this afternoon. You can change channels during the seminar, and we have simultaneous interpretation and uses. I will say it in German because it's important. You have the interpretation function. It is like the globe, the planet, the small world. You can click on it and choose your language for this morning, but also for this afternoon. And you can also switch between languages. Okay, now I go back to my presentation. Okay, I'm David Grandjean. It is a pleasure for me to be here with you, and we thank Jessica from HR Swiss to invite us to this event, which is very important for us. And several times we said with Jessica, the goal of today is not to sell something for health promotion, but to create an awareness with these problems in companies. You are all active as HR, dealing with human beings, and for us, Swiss health promotion, it is very important for us to make you aware of this theme. We are a public-private foundation with funds which come from the insurance company, but also from the state and the cantons. This is the sponsorship. And we work with people who are active, working, and in good health. The majority of them, the Swiss population, is in good health. And this is what we will discuss today in favor of a healthier Switzerland. I give the floor back to Jessica.
Is on mute. Okay, ihr kennt vielleicht
Okay, maybe you know HR Swiss. If you don't know it, maybe you know your regional association, that is the sections, the HR section, which is close to you. On this slide, you see the new sections in Switzerland. And if you are a member of one of these sections, you are also member of HR Swiss. We have approximately 4,000 members, and our role is to represent our profession and to help HR for the continuous education, and we cooperate with HR exams, but in the different sections, we also do a lot of continuous education and have a number of offers. We, at the level of HR Switzerland, our board is composed of the presidents of the different sections. And what is important for us is to create synergies in order to represent our profession and to give an added value to you as members. This is why we have this International HR Day. This day was created by the European Association for People Management, the EAPM, in 2019. And if you are a member of a section of HR Switzerland, you are automatically member of the EAPM. And we collaborate in the deepening and elaboration of themes related to HR. And on the occasion of this day, we want to recognize this work. And in 2023, this was an opportunity for us, together with GFS, to present our commitment for the promotion of health. And that is Swiss health promotion. Now, together with you, we want to make a small survey about your health. We have 3 questions in the 3 languages, which you can answer by writing on your screen, and then we will see the answers. I give you a few minutes. The first question, my job has become more complex over the last 2 years. Yes, no. Over the last 2 years, my mental well-being has improved, remained the same, or deteriorated, and which is my company's maturity level as far as CHM is concerned, corporate health management. I see that the answers of the third question are difficult. You have to scroll down to see it. I couldn't see them. But if you make the screen bigger, you will see the proposal for the third question. Inexistent, occasional, or advanced, the maturity level in your company of CHM. Now we just wait for the consolidation of the answers. A number of people who joined us after 11. I just remind you that you have a simultaneous interpretation, a possibility. At the bottom of your screen, you can choose the language which you will follow. I repeat it in German for those who have joined us after 11 o'clock.
So, ihr habt wirklich diese Möglichkeit, eine Live-Übersetzung zu bekommen. Voilà, on a les premiers.
Now we have the first results. Jessica, please. Yes, this is interesting. I think everybody agrees that the work has become more complex over the last 2 years. Fortunately, that doesn't mean that the health of the HR experts has deteriorated. For 16%, it has improved. Half of them say that it has remained the same, and 35% that it was deteriorated. The mental health, mental well-being. Maybe I can say something about these two questions, then give the floor to David to speak about the degree of maturity. The answers you have given correspond to what we see in Europe at the level of HR. The health of HR experts has worsened, deteriorated a little bit, but basically it has remained the same for the majority. With the crisis we had, this was an additional stress for us as HR because we care for the health of our staff, and therefore this is a major source of stress if the staff is feeling worse. And we have seen that after COVID, the pandemic, and the insecurity with which we are confronted has added to more complexity. Now, David,
Sur la question 3, hein.
now the question
Tout à
3.
fait. Je profite de l'occasion.
I,
Bonjour tout le monde. Alors, question 3. Donc, on voit clairement que
in question 3, we
les
see
entreprises à
clearly
maturité
that
ont
the
des
majority
initiatives
of
ponctuelles
companies
auxquelles
have
elles sont
occasional
confrontées.
measures
Et
to improve
un de nos objectifs en
corporate
tant
health management.
qu'entreprise,
And one
c'est
of our
vraiment
objectives
d'aider
in
les entreprises à
Promotion Health
systématiser.
Switzerland
Donc, c'est
is
qu'en
to do
entreprise, on
this
passe de faire du one-shot
systematically,
à une
not
certaine
as a
régularité.
one
Et
shot, but
c'est comme ça qu'on
to
arrive
do
le
this
mieux à anticiper
permanently,
aussi les cas de
which
maladie
permits us to
psychiatrique. Et on voit quand même
anticipate
que
mental health
environ
problems.
15%,
And we see
il n'y a
that
pas de mesure encore en termes de
approximately
changement dans l'entreprise.
15% have
Donc,
not
super
yet
que vous soyez là
taken any
aujourd'hui pour
measures.
pouvoir vous montrer un petit peu
Therefore, it is
le
good to be here
éclairage
today.
des
We will show
entreprises
you
si vous êtes
the
intéressé par
way
ce sujet.
and different
Et surtout, je
possibilities.
profite de
If you are
l'occasion.
interested in
Cet
the
après-midi, vous
theme,
avez
and
vraiment l'occasion de rencontrer ou
you
de
will
voir
have the
l'entreprise
opportunity
avancer en termes
of
de ce que
seeing
l'entreprise a mis en
how
place
you can
avec
make
SDG
progress.
et Karine Mahler qui va nous
And this afternoon,
détailler
you will hear
la
Karin
stratégie
Mahler, who will
SN
speak
avec
about the
quelques best
strategy of
practices. Donc, on
the
vous encourage à
Swiss
suivre ça
Railways
mais
and
c'est
some of
très
the
concret.
best
Et ce
practices.
matin, c'est un peu
These will be concrete examples. This morning, it is
sans
more
voilà.
pre-taste
Je prends le
for
relais,
it.
Jessica, si ça va pour toi.
I continue,
Oui, pour
Jessica.
cette enquête, c'est parfait.
We
Voilà,
finished
alors,
the
le but aujourd'hui, il est
survey,
de vous montrer un peu ce qui existe
the
en
poll.
termes
Now, the goal
de
is
santé,
to
mais aussi
show what
d'attirer votre
is
attention sur
existing
vie
as far as
et les changements
the promotion of health in Switzerland and the
au
changes
niveau
we have
du travail. Le
seen,
but, il n'est
the
pas
level of work.
évidemment,
Goal is not
de
to
noircir le tableau, mais il y a quand même une certaine
make,
réalité qui est là en termes
paint
de
you a
santé. Alors, ceci,
black
c'est des
picture or
études
to
qui sont
make you
européennes.
afraid, but these are
On voit
European
quand même
studies, and
une
we see
augmentation aussi
that there is an
du
increase
surpoids, on voit une
of
augmentation
weight,
du
there is an
déficit
increase of
physique
mental stress,
depuis 2019.
physical
Et on
problems
devrait le
since
voir également
2019 and
malheureusement
before. And
ces 2-3 dernières années.
unfortunately, over the last 2 or 3
Une certaine
years,
détérioration au niveau de la santé
there
mentale.
was a deterioration as
Je vous
far
donne
as mental health is
quelques statistiques
concerned.
suisses à l'appui.
I'll give you a few
Et puis un sujet qui nous
statistics
tient
later.
très à cœur,
And
c'est
another
l'enfance,
theme, which
les
is very
jeunes,
important, are
parce qu'on se rend
adolescents,
compte dans
young
nos
people,
statistiques suisses
because in our Swiss statistics, we see
que la tranche d'âge
that
16-24
the age group
est
between
plutôt
16 and 24
affectée
years is
psychique.
more
Et
concerned
c'est ce
by
sujet qu'on adresse avec un
mental
outil qui s'appelle Apprentice.
stress.
Si
And
aujourd'hui il y
we
a des gens
have
qui sont intéressés par
a
cette
program
thématique,
which is called
vous allez peut-être
Apprentice.
aussi
If you are
des
interested
responsables
in it, and maybe you have
d'apprentissage parmi vous, je vous encourage vraiment
apprentices
à
in
regarder
your
notre outil
company,
Apprentice, qui est un outil gratuit et qui aide les maîtres d'apprentissage à
and
accompagner les jeunes dans cette période
this is
cruciale entre le
a
passage
support
de
to help
travail
young
et
people
professionnel.
in this
C'est vraiment une thématique
important passage
qui nous tient à
of
cœur.
life between
Ensuite, au niveau
leaving school and
de
starting
l'entreprise,
work.
des
At the
entreprises,
level of
c'est quoi
the
cette nouvelle réalité?
companies, what is this
On le
new
voit, nous, on est là en
reality?
contact avec
we see in contact with many companies in Switzerland that there are reflections in order to review the office spaces, increase flexibility. This concerns the bigger structures, not the small and medium enterprises. But many things change in the companies. They also promote co-working and work from home, remote forms of working. And I think we will see a development in this area of new work. And there's also this workcation, this interesting term, combining vacations and work. Maybe you can find out more on the internet about this new term. This is a bit the situation which we have. And a question to Jessica, President of HR Swiss. What do you think of this new reality which we have been living for the last 2 or 3 years? Excellent question, David. I continue in German. What you are showing related to the new reality, I think this overlaps with the survey we just had. Almost everybody said that the work has become more complex at the level of HR with this new reality. We are concerned by these changes, and we have to live with it in our organizations, and also as far as recruitment is concerned, and also something we have to explain to our employees, the ones who are already here. This is a different kind of working. We have to explain it to the employees and accompany this change. And this concerns us as HR experts, and therefore this increases the complexity of our work. And we have to make major efforts through corporate health management. Because if we have employees with different needs and different expectations related to their employers, and this concerns health, these are important matters for us to take into account at HR. We want our workforce to be in good health, but more than that, we want to permit them to develop at work. And since the expectations are different, some people want to work from home, others want to come to an office. Some people want to work full-time, others part-time, and therefore there is an increasing complexity. And what we can learn at the level of the promotion of health is that there are many recommendations which are not necessarily costly, and this will be the goal of this discussion. I give the floor back to David to present his paper about health management. Yes, with pleasure. Thank you, Jessica. In this idea of describing the context, we have a tool and a poll, which is the Job Stress Index, which you can find on internet. It is the reference in Switzerland as far as mental well-being is concerned. And this is a poll we make among thousands of people every second year. And since 2012, we see the evolution of mental health of working people in Switzerland. These are the results of 2022. The document is much bigger. This is just an extract. Just to give you a few indications, we have approximately 28% of people, active people, who are at risk, very exhausted, or rather exhausted. 45% are in a fragile balance between resources and stress. A figure which is important is that 49% of the new disability pensions are due to mental illness. And this is a cost for the employers and for you, approximately 6.5 billion francs per year. This is just to show reality to you and to motivate us in order to take some of the measures in our companies to accompany these changes. And we speak much more about it than at the time of our parents or grandparents. This has advantages, of course. Now, this is the job stress index. I really recommend you to read this document to become aware of the situation in Switzerland. Now, what is the advantage of CHM, corporate health management? Which are the advantages? And later on, I will speak about launching a CHM system. We have approximately several hundred of companies in Switzerland that are labelized as friendly workspaces. Many use the tools of the Promotion of Health Switzerland. With all these informations, you have the opportunity of making a survey and to see if the health has improved. A study which was made by Swing shows that after a corporate health management was introduced, the employees say that they were 25% less stressed. This has an implication on the image of the company, which is important. It's important for the employer branding. Your image is better in order to recruit new talents, a new generation, which is very much aware of this, trying to find a balance between work and family, work-life balance. This can be an interesting element in order to show that your corporate culture looks after employees and their well-being. This has also a financial interest, less absences, and people feel better in a company, higher satisfaction, higher motivation at work. It is not only CHM that will improve his situation. Of course, it's also the corporate culture as such, but this can be a motivation to say, let's try. We don't have anything to lose. And with this, we can improve matters if we have a lot of turnover, for instance, and a certain weakness. We don't have enough time, but just to show you a few possibilities to help you to get to the summit of a systematic CHM and give you not one-shot possibilities during the year, but some of the measures. Here are a few possibilities, which are not the only ones, but it can be an important element if you want to start. The first thing we recommend to a company that wants to launch a CHM is to take stock, which we call START, first point. That is, analyze the job stress analysis, which you can do online to evaluate the state of the mental health of your staff, which permits you to draw conclusions related to some of the departments where there may be more problems than others, or maybe some of the managers. And this is the starting point. And then you can also make a friendly workplace check to evaluate where you are. It's always interesting to see the gap. This is the first point. I would like to add that we work with several hundreds accredited consultants, and this is the first stage to become aware of what was done and then to
sur
create the awareness of our top
les mesures à
management
mettre en place. Et puis
related
souvent,
to
conseiller
the
en
measures to
analyse et
take, and
proposer des
then
pistes
with the
d'amélioration.
consultants to
Donc ça, c'est
propose
quelque chose
a
que
few
je
ways
recommande
to
aussi
improve
si
the situation.
vous
This is
avez des
something
collègues
which I would like
et vous
to
pensez
recommend to
que
you
je
if you
resterai
need
peut-être
help
pendant
and
une heure
support.
sur les différents liens.
And I will
Ensuite,
speak
si on veut monter en
about this
puissance
later.
après avoir fait
Now,
cette
if you
analyse,
want,
vous avez
after this
différents
analysis,
critères
to
de qualité à travers
go
différents
on, you
facteurs
have all the different
qui sont pas
criteria of
uniquement pour la jeunesse.
quality
Si vous souhaitez
of
mettre en
the
place une
friendly
association et sans
workspace,
avoir affaire au label, vous avez tout loisir de le faire. Vous pouvez
with or without the label. You can do it,
vous pouvez suivre ces critères
and you
qui
can
sont
follow these
indiqués sur Internet,
criteria,
qui sont gratuits,
which are available for
qui
everybody,
permettent
free of charge.
d'organiser votre
And these are
propre
criteria
organisation.
which
Donc ça, c'est
permit
extrêmement
you to
important quelque
organize
part parce que
your
c'est quelque
own
chose qui est à disposition
corporate health
de toutes les
management.
entreprises. Et si vous êtes
This
motivé
is available to
à
all the
souscrire à
companies.
ce
If you are
programme, c'est vraiment
motivated,
d'aller
I
chercher
would
ces critères
encourage
de
you
qualité du
to
label.
um,
Ensuite, si vous avez décidé de vous dire, je
get
veux
this
développer
label.
ce
If you've
label non seulement
decided,
pour le
I
Friendly
want
Workspace, mais
this
aussi pour le
label,
Friendly
not only
Workplace,
for
eh ben, vous
friendly
pouvez tout de suite
workspace,
passer à la
but also for
numéro 3,
corporate
qui
health
s'appelle
management,
Friendly
then we come to the
Self-Assessment
third
et
step,
qui
that is a
vous permet de
self-assessment,
juger
which
où est-ce que vous
permits
en êtes
you
bon
to
par rapport à
evaluate
une
where
éventuelle
you
labellisation.
are
Et si là,
related
vous avez
to a
utilisé un
possible
outil
labelization.
d'évaluation,
And you have a
vraiment des
matrix
outils qui
for
sont
the
à disposition
evaluation and different
peuvent vous
tools which
aider
are
à vous
available.
dire, je me lance
And
vraiment
according
dans
to
la
the gap,
labellisation ou pas.
then you can
Et
decide whether you
finalement,
launch
le premier
into
volet
the
de
towards a
Friendly
labelization. And then you have
Assessment
point
vous
four,
permet d'être
the assessment,
labellisé
which permits
Friendly
you to
Workplace
be
si vous avez
labelized as
la
friendly
numéro 3.
workspace.
Voilà. Je ne vais pas rentrer trop dans les détails aujourd'hui. Le but, il est de vous donner
I
une
don't
image un peu
explain
globale
more
de
of
ce qui
the
se passe.
details. This is a global
Alors, Jessica,
image
c'était
of what
important
happens. Together
de
with
vous donner un peu des takeaways
Jessica, we
et non
said it
pas
was important to define the takeaways
simplement
for
écouter
today, not only
des gens qui parlent, mais
listening
de pouvoir
to
peut-être
us
utiliser aussi
speaking,
ça
but
ultérieurement. Alors,
also
je
to
vous ai
use
mis
this
ici
later.
quelques liens
Here you have a few
des choses
links
que j'ai parlé, notamment le
about
label
the
si vous
things
souhaitez
I
suivre cette méthode.
mentioned, the
Si vous
label,
souhaitez
friendly
en fait être accompagné sur
workspace.
ces thématiques,
If you
nous
want
avons des
to
consultants qui
find
sont à
support, we
disposition
do
sur
have
notre site internet.
consultants which are
Vous avez
available.
le lien ici.
You
Le
find
profil
them here.
CSS
The
2022 dont
Job
j'ai parlé,
Stress Index
la question des
2022, question of young people,
apprentistes, de vos
apprentices,
maîtres d'apprentissage, c'est vraiment quelque chose que je
to permit
recommande encore
them
une fois, c'est gratuit.
to make a good
Ça
start.
permet également
This is
de
something I would
rencontrer
recommend
les
to
autres maîtres
you.
d'apprentissage.
And you
Donc
can
on crée ici
also
une
meet
communauté.
others.
Et puis tout ce qui
You're
touche
part of
les
a
services de
community, and then
CHM
everything which
pour les élèves.
is
On a
related
deux
to
autres
CHM
opportunités en juin
services.
dont on va parler
And
aujourd'hui.
in
Pour
June,
des
we
gens qui
have
ne sont pas
two
forcément intéressés par la
new things.
labellisation,
If
mais
you are
qui
interested
souhaitent
in
du
labelization
Reddit.
and
Alors,
a
c'est des entreprises entre 50
structure
et 250 employés.
for
Alors, ça,
companies
c'est deux nouveaux
between
outils
50 and
gratuits
200
pour
employees.
aider les
We have
PME
two more
à se
tools
lancer une
to
nouvelle
help
boîte.
the
J'essaie
small and
de lancer
medium
publiquement
enterprises to launch a CHM.
ça
This
serait
will be
très bien parce que
presented in
vraiment dans ce
June.
secteur-là,
We
il
have
se passe pas
many
grand-chose pour aider les PME
demands for
qui
it
ont souvent pas les ressources ni
because many of
les
the
moyens financiers
small and
pour aller
medium
s'inscrire. Donc
enterprises
c'est
don't have the financial means to
allez
invest a
voir,
lot
ça vaut
in the
vraiment la peine
theme.
de
Now,
vous
I invite you
enregistrer
to
sur
look at it.
cette
You can
nouveauté
also
qui arrive.
register for it
Ensuite,
to
si vous voulez
receive these new
optimiser
elements and new
l'aide prévention
tools.
santé en entreprise, vous pouvez suivre des
And
formations.
related to it, you can also
Donc, on
participate
a des
in
acquisitions de ressources
training
en RH
courses, which we have
où il y a
available for
plusieurs formations
HR
sur
people.
le sujet. Puis tout à la fin, j'ai mis deux articles encore
And
plus qui
at
sont
the end,
accessibles
two interesting articles.
qui vous
The
intéressent.
second
Voilà.
tsunami, and your
Voilà
employees
pour ma
should never
partie,
serve
Jessica.
alone.
Encore une fois,
This
l'idée ce
is
matin
my
était de
part,
vous
Jessica.
donner
The
une image un
idea
peu globale de ce qui
is to
existe.
give you a
Et
global
c'est ça
image of
avec
what exists. And
notre
this
programme
afternoon,
avec
we
présence à
really
6 heures
encourage you
avec les
to
CFF
be with us at
Karim Mahler
4
qui va
o'clock to
là
listen
vraiment
to
montrer un
Karin
exemple
Mahler
pratique
from the Swiss
de
Railways.
comment on
She
a
will
à se
give you
déplacer et
a
qu'est-ce qu'elle vit au quotidien.
practical example of
Et c'est
what she is
très possible
experiencing
d'entreprendre
every day,
vraiment
because the
à
Swiss
regarder ça en termes
Railways are
de santé
really
d'entreprise. Donc si vous avez envie
pioneer
d'y
as far
participer, je vous
as
encourage vraiment. Ça sera
health
très
management is
intéressant.
concerned, and this will
Voilà,
certainly be
Jessica, je te
very
remercie.
interesting. Now,
Avant de
Jessica, I
passer
give the
aux
floor back to
entreprises et de
you
passer à la partie des
to
questions-réponses,
come to questions and answers.
Danke, David. Vielen
Well,
Dank
thank you,
für diese
David,
Vorstellung.
for
Wichtig war
this
tatsächlich,
presentation.
David hat ein paar Sachen
David mentioned a
angeführt.
number of
Was
things
ich spannend fand,
which
als
are important. What I find
diese
fascinating
Vorstellung von
when
betrieblichem
we
Gesundheitsmanagement vorbereitet habe,
prepared
da bin ich
this
viel auf
event,
die Webseite von
I
Gesundheitsförderung
looked a lot on the website of Promotion Health Switzerland. I was really surprised to find all the information you find there. David just mentioned the friendly workspace and the certification, this label, which is possible. And I was really surprised to find all these informations which are helpful for the introduction or articles you can find to support this or statistical material so that you as HR people can have a bit more weight if you want to launch such a CHM system. On this website, you find many informations about it. And as David said, also training courses which are offered. And this is a complete possibility for launching health management in your companies. Thank you very much, David, for this introduction. Now, do you have any questions? I want to give you the opportunity of raising questions spontaneously and at the same time, look if we have received questions in the chat. One question concerns the documents and the presentations. Everything that was said this morning is recorded, and you find the text, the document after the webinar. For this afternoon, the session will not be recorded because we are among us as HR people and we want to speak openly. And Mrs. Mahler said, if I want to speak honestly and openly, I don't want to be recorded. Cannot accept to spread information widely. However, the slides she will show from the Swiss Revels are available, but we will not record what she will say orally. This was the first question we received in the chat. Do we have any questions about the corporate health management? I'll give you a short break. Well, if there are no questions, we hope that this short introduction gave you an idea and an impression of why it is important to deal with the theme in your company. And if you do it already, you may be interested to get more information. And there's also the access to Health Promotion Switzerland. This was important for us. And the most important thing is this afternoon, where we look at a concrete case. I'm really looking forward to discuss with Mrs. Mahler. We just received one more question. David? Question is about flu, influenza, which is a reason for absenteeism in the company. I cannot say more about it because we are really concentrated, focused on mental health and how to improve people, how to make them aware, to anticipate cases and maybe help them to return to work, to the job. But I cannot say anything about influenza and flu. Second question. Do we need a central steering body to launch CHM? Question raised by Natalie. It is true that in a company, in a European group of companies, enterprises, is often a centralized element which looks after this matter and try to systemize this between the different companies. Of course, there can be individual initiatives can be implemented, but the result would not be the same. Therefore, personally, I would recommend to centralize the CHM in a company. Maybe to come back to the question about flu. We have learned a lot from the COVID pandemic. Maybe you can wear face masks if there are many cases of flu and influenza at the workplace. Use the gel for the hands and social distancing and wear face masks again. Okay, I see another question raised by Ariane. Which are the actions we should launch first? As I explained, when we want to make this systematically, first of all, we have to take stock to see what exists already, what is the health situation, and then foresee measures and according to some of the criteria related to the label, which we find also on our site, Friendly Workspace, which is rather complex. There are approximately 6 criteria and 25 sub-criteria which have to be followed to have a global overview. If you are interested in concrete actions, I recommend these criteria. Well, I think, David, the point you just mentioned, this stock taking, to see what is the current situation is very important, because what is important in one company is not necessarily important in another one. And in some of the companies, you have already undertaken some of the steps because there is a high degree of absenteeism. Maybe they've concentrated and focused on some of the points already. And elsewhere, there may have been problems in personal relations between human beings, which can also create mental health problems. And some of the things were already introduced. Therefore, it is important not only taking stock to get an idea of the current situation, but also to get support. We can say we have a high degree of absenteeism or many people who suffer from mental illness due to the situation in the company, then the introduction is of some of the measures easier. For instance, to be accompanied by an external consultant or through training courses. And then you have the internal support from the management, which is important whenever you introduce new measures. Yes, I agree. I confirm. Any more questions? If not, I say goodbye for now and meet you again this afternoon at 4 o'clock. I hope for most of you. For me, it was really a pleasure to have you, so many of you, to speak about corporate health management. And I would like to thank David, who have taken the time, and Health Promotion Switzerland, helping us with the technical preparation. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you very much for the invitation and the opportunity of speaking about the issue here. And I hope to see you this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And enjoy lunch. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.